Hey everyone, here's Thiago from Podsqueeze, and today I have another automation tutorial for you. This one comes from a question from one of our users, and what he says is he wants to trigger an automation from Airtable. So basically, N8N sends the guest name and Apple episode URL from Airtable to Podsqueeze. Podsqueeze processes, and then N8N creates and sends results to a Google Drive folder with file name, guest name, podcast name. So is a very interesting automation to do, and I can imagine that will solve and save rather a lot of time. So let's start with that. First of all, let's create here a new workflow. I'm using N8N, but again, I think you can use any other tool. But I'm using N8N self-hosted version. So if you're using the cloud version, maybe there's a few things that are different. But anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message and we can figure that out. So first of all, I will add a new node, Airtable node, and we can have on new Airtable event. And first of all, we need to connect with the credentials. So we have to create new credentials. And here, by the way, this is my first time doing this, so we're going to figure this out together. But here you have either API key, access token, or OAuth. A lot of the times here on N8N, they give you the docs where you can click and they tell you how you can do it. So they support personal access token or OAuth 2. And they say go to Airtable Builder Hub. So I can even click here directly. Select create new token. Okay, here it is, create new token, click. I will give it the name N8N. And let's see if I need a specific scope. Scopes, data records read, data records write, and schema bases read. Done. And select the access for your token. Choose from a single base, multiple bases, and then create token. Okay. What is this? This token can access the following bases. So you can, I'll just do all resources, just make it easier. But you can select what database you wanted to access. Create token. Done. I'll copy it. I will, after this, revoke this token. So no need to copy it. Access token. Control V. Save. Connection tested successfully. Awesome. It's done. It's connected. So now, as you can see, you can define to poll every minute. So basically, every minute we'll see if there's something new. And I will just create a dummy database on my Airtable. Sounds good. Grid view. And now we can define. So the user was asking for guest's name and Apple episode URL. Okay. So let's go for the guest's name. So I'll just put a name. I'll put it URL and changes. Okay. And I can delete the other fields. We don't need these fields. Okay. Quite simple. Now, I think what this user wanted is to have a name, so like Thiago, and the URL. The user was asking for the Apple URL, but I don't think we can use that because Podsqueeze will not be able to basically fetch. So it needs to be a URL that is public, where Podsqueeze can fetch the file from. Okay. Here it is. Done. I'll call it test. Here you have the base and the table. So you can either pick by ID or by URL. I have picked by ID. And it's quite simple. So in your URL of your table, the base ID is this first one. So you just have to copy this, paste it here. And the table ID, so by the way, the base ID starts with app, and the other one starts with TBL from table, I guess. And it's this one. So just copy this, paste it here. Now, this is the tricky part. The trigger field is basically what your polling will be looking at to trigger this. And only if there's something new, and you can read it here, only if there's something new, it will trigger this automation. Now, if I had read this from the beginning, I would have understood that only works for created time and last modified time. So you go here, plus, and then you can create the created time or last modified time. I created this one, I named it created. And now I just paste here created. Fetch event, and bam. Here is the event, created time, fields created, and we have our trigger field. Let's fetch. And as you can see, it's only returning the created field. So we also want the name and the URL. So let's go to add field. And here you'll have the created, then comma, name, comma, URL. So this will make it return all the fields. So now we have name, URL, and the created. Perfect. Our first node is ready. Now the next thing is connected with Podsqueeze. We go and find our Podsqueeze app. This is a community node, so you do need to import it. So does not come by default. So if you're using the self-hosted, you just go here on settings, and you go on community nodes, and you search the na10 nodes Podsqueeze. You just go install, paste this there, and it will install this. If you are using the cloud version, I will link in the notes of this video a way on how you can do it. Basically, you need to go on settings and accept community nodes. But I'll give you a link where you can, with a quick tutorial showing how that's done. Anyway, so we're back here. So now we find our Podsqueeze node. Start job, wait for assets. Okay. Now they are already, let me move me here. They are already connected. So now we just need to drag and drop. Podcast ID is your folder ID. So I can just give it the name na10 test for now. Episode URL. So, okay, let me first execute the nodes. Okay. Episode URL, I just drag and drop it. Episode title, drag and drop it. I can even, this is basically the name, so that's fine. Here, you might want to increase this a little bit to maybe 1,000 seconds. You can also increase the polling. And this is it. So now, once I trigger, it will fetch from Airtable, run through Podsqueeze. And the next thing we want to do is to connect it to our Google Drive, right? So before I run it, because this does take a little bit, let me just confirm what the user wanted. And it then creates and sends results to Google Drive folder. So file name, guest name, podcast name, date. So basically, you want all these results to go to your Google folder. Maybe the best way to do this is to create a new document. Create file from text. Okay. And let's connect this. And here we have file. Create from text. The file content, you can put here all the content. Then you can just find in your drive where you want to put it. In this case, I'll just put it in the root folder. And that's basically it. Then you just have to connect, wire whatever comes from Podsqueeze here to the file. Now I will just run the workflow. And once it's done, we'll finalize the creation of file. Execute workflow. Okay, so it just finished running. We have our Podsqueeze nodes, everything that was created. If you want to know how to connect Podsqueeze and how to create your custom content here in the automation, check out the previous videos. But in this case, now I connected with our file creation. And what I'll do is I'll go here on expression. I'll increase here the size. And then I can do, let's say I want bullet points. Okay. And I'll just drag and drop the bullet points here. And I will have, let me drag. Let's go to keywords and drag and drop the keywords here. And long post, for instance. Long post. So here on the right side, you can see how it will look like. Okay. So now create new file, create from text, file name, let's go back to the Airtable trigger and bring the name. I'll use Tiago and I will execute the step. Okay, it's created. Let's go to my Google Drive. And here it is, the name, Tiago text. Let's open it. Everything here, bullet points, keywords, long post, all connected. So this is it, the full automation. Of course, you can customize it to your likings, play around with the type of file that is created, play around with the content that's created through Podsqueeze. Just a reminder, to get the Podsqueeze API key, you just go to your dashboard and then you go to API access, and then it will generate your key. You go to, and then click on API access, and it will generate your key. And yeah, this is it. I will also make this automation, this workflow available, so that you just need to click on import from file. You import the JSON file and you'll have the full automation. And if you have any questions, any other tutorials that you think I should do, please share them in the comments of this video. Till then, see ya.